Welcome to the Whensday Warm-Up. I am your host, Lee. Yes. You were tuned in to the Inside Show and you are watching the Whensday podcast called the Whensday Warm-Up with me, your host, Lee. And I'm joined by my trusty sidekicks, the three musketeers.
Wow, come on.
I'm here with Mr. Miller. We changed your name, didn't we?
No, to what?
Or did we change your name? Somebody's name
Jay.
changed.
It was Jay's name.
Jay, why did your name change? So something happened last week.
Because it was JX Paris.
No, something happened last week and I was like, that will be your name. But anyway,
It was
I
Jay.
forgot.
It was Jay.
It was the Don Dada.
Yo, wow,
At the bottom there,
wow.
bro. Fix it up.
Don Dada
Don
now.
Dada.
Oh, because now it's after elections and stuff. New day, new me.
Yes, sir.
New dawn, new me.
Yes, sir.
But anyway, guys, hello to you. Anyone wants
What's
to go?
happening?
I'm
Good
not gonna
morning.
say
Good
first,
morning.
second,
Good
third
morning. Good
anymore.
morning. Top of the morning. Top of the morning. Top of the.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
you know,
waiting for
I
that.
just-
We're waiting. Yes.
There we go.
Top of the morning.
Hey.
Top of the morning.
Hey.
Top of the morning,
Hey.
top of the morning.
What's happening, people? Good morning. Good morning. Top of the
Mr.
morning.
Miller.
Oh,
Doing Thriller.
Whoa. Hold up.
Listen, yeah, we got rappers, we got everything, you
Yeah,
know.
I
But
know.
nonetheless, top of the morning, what's happening, beautiful people? Top of the afternoon and top of the evening.
Yeah, man.
I need to, give myself a lot of energy because I'm a little bit tired this
Yes.
morning. I got my coffee here, as you can see, just the
Count.
church
I thought you was
coffee.
gonna say I need to break the table.
So, yeah, man, I'm so excited this morning. We have an awesome topic and we have awesome news as well. So, yeah, what's happening, Jess? Top of the morning to you, broski.
Top of the morning. Top of the morning. Top of the morning.
Yes.
Top of the morning, 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 top of the morning.
Yo.
Ek werk hier vir trekker.
Wow. Yeah, let's leave it to the professionals, ne?
Just call me Jonger JHB.
Younger
Younger
Jay.
JHB.
Yeah, nee.
Okay.
How's it now?
That's
How's
your
it
rap
now?
name.
Yeah, nee, youngster CPT. You need to wait, bro. But yeah, nee, good morning to all the viewers out there. Good morning to all the viewers out there. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're enjoying this lovely weather that we have, man. Yeah,
man,
Yeah,
beautiful-
we've got
beautiful
your
sun.
yeah, it's
for
hot.
real, eh?
It's
It's
hot. If you
lovely.
see some stains here, just understand it's hot
It's
in
hot
studio
inside.
and hot
Yeah, no,
outside.
we currently sitting at 23 degrees Celsius in studio, is it?
24.
24 degrees in
Yeah.
studio,
Yeah,
but
24.
outside it's 23 degrees Celsius, and it's only 5 minutes past 9.
Because we
AM.
are hotter.
Hey, man.
We are
Hey.
hotter than
Come
outside.
on.
Yes, we are. In here, we bring the
60.
heat. Jay Perry, Don Dada.
The Don Dada. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Good morning to the folks. What up to the youngers and bless up to the world, man. It's always an honor and a privilege being on this amazing
Yes.
show.
Yes.
The Wednesday
Yes.
warm-up
Yes.
with the crew. It's amazing, and we have a dope topic that lies ahead.
Do we really?
Yeah, depends on how you look. You can be optimistic or pessimistic about it, but yeah, we move.
Come on now. But anyway, we've got breaking news today. When last did we have breaking
Come
news?
on.
At least we're bringing some things back, We're bringing news back.
I see his story though.
What?
When they're losing, there's no breaking news.
Hi, bro. I'm not even speaking about my team this morning, bro. You brought it up, so
Luister nou weer.
I don't have
nou vir
anything to
julle
say.
nou, guys.
I don't have anything
He's
to
happy
say.
for a
Man.
draw.
No, stop it.
It's whenever cryptocurrencies do well.
That's
Then
also
there's
that's
breaking
also a
news.
fact.
Julle stout hoor.
That's also
Okay,
a
so we've
fact.
got breaking news. So over to you, Mr. Producer, on breaking news. It's so awkward. We don't even know how to act
That time,
anymore.
You don't know if it's playing or not. You're like,
We're waiting. But
But you
nonetheless,
just hear breathing into the mic.
let's get into it. Herman Mashaba gains ground in Johannesburg as ANC buckles in Soweto. Action SA has taken a number of wards from the ANC in Soweto. The party was formed shortly after Herman Mashaba's acrimonious departure from the DA in 2019. Data shows that ANC support in township around the city could hit historical lows. So we basically see Herman Mashaba's new political party, Action SA, headed towards Johannesburg Civic Centre in Braamfontein, basically becoming a significant body with regards to this election. So I don't know what, have you guys been checking out the recent stats? Obviously the stats changed this morning, but we've seen that Action SA, because it is a new political party, it has done actually it has done really well thus far.
Yeah,
that has been trending on Twitter this morning. If you guys want to check it out, please do go and hashtag election results. And then also what we have trending this morning, or rather this week, is that Bitcoin cryptocurrency has hit an all-time high of 1 million rand. Bitcoin has hit 1 million rand, and that has been trending quite a bit this week. And also, I'm gonna speak about it because Jay brought it up. Manchester United has the GOAT saves.
What happened? What actually happened?
Well, the GOAT
celebrate or speak about
the GOAT managed to pull a draw for us against Atalanta in Italy last night.
Who?
Atalanta.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Okay. So I'm thinking we being Manchester United. That's the
Manchester
we
United,
you're talking
you know?
about. Okay.
yeah, Ole
Wait.
out. Hashtag Ole out.
When was it? Last week we didn't want to talk about this topic. But
Last
today-
week we spoke about it. We spoke about it because I had to face defeat and I took it.
Yeah, no, you
know?
did.
So
You took it like a man.
I'm not.
Chester United.
Listen, I'm not riding on a wave here to say, you know what, Manchester United. Yes. No. We are
Yes.
still far from that.
It's
you
not
know, we're
what
going
you
with
said
the
in the
waves.
beginning of the season, bro.
Yeah.
Things change. It's
Roll
football.
back the
Die bal is
tapes.
rond.
The
Die
ball is
bal is
rond.
rond.
Things change. It's
Nee.
football.
Must get that clip of when we had the Friday show. Get that clip,
That-
cut it, and then we can play that.
Yeah.
Wait,
And but when you say the GOAT brought us, meaning Manchester United, it's Cristiano Ronaldo, right? He was the one that equalized.
back
Yes,
is
he
sore.
scored
Guys.
both goals.
He's
he
back.
woke up
He's
this
so.
morning complaining about his back.
Who?
Facts.
Cristiano Ronaldo? Why? Because of age.
No, because he has to carry that whole team on his back,
Week in, week out.
week in, week out.
Cho.
He goes, "Ooh," but he was agreeing with us before the show.
Because I heard it, so
But he agrees. It's true. It's fact.
It's amazing how Manchester United has ANC in the very first letters.
what are you speaking about? You know what? I'm the only Manchester United supporter in this entire organization. It is very difficult. We need more Manchester United people up in this building. Please, guys, come on.
But
I'm the only one.
let's discuss breaking news a little bit. So yeah, Action S Herman Mashaba's Action SA makes leads in Johannesburg, city of Johannesburg. I think they're sitting with 16.7%, although ANC is still leading the charts there at the moment, which
Yeah.
is ANC is the ruling party of South Africa, so they are still currently leading. In most municipalities, although political analysts do show that their results have dwindled, right? Their victory has become less. In terms of numbers, not necessarily in terms of where they are on the log. See what I did there?
Yeah.
But you know, these things take time, as we all know. Unfortunately, the earth is also round, but South Africa isn't. So unlike the ball, you know, things don't drastically change like they do in football. And then let's talk about cryptocurrency, guys, because I feel like it's an important topic to cover, especially for what we are discussing here today.
Yeah.
I don't know much about it. You guys know about it. I know that Bitcoin hit a low sometime in the year.
Yes.
Because of, I don't know, Elon Musk, or he's somehow always involved when I hear you guys talking.
Well, it was actually El Salvador who considered Bitcoin to be a legal tender, but there was some discrepancy that happened there, and then that was what actually triggered the whole dip of Bitcoin. But now,
before that, the small dip was Elon Musk, and then thereafter.
It was that
It was that,
story.
yeah.
But now it's at 1 million, but you guys say you don't really know what could have pushed it there.
yeah, I haven't checked my sources this morning, but look, the market right now is a bull market. So Bitcoin is sitting on 980 HS this morning,
980, yeah.
and Ethereum is sitting on 71,000 per coin. So that
Bro,
ultimately
Ethereum
pushed,
jumped, bro.
yeah, and that
Ethereum was like
ultimately
on
pushed,
35, bro.
yeah.
Yo.
and it ultimately pushed XRP as well. I think we're sitting on 19 rand this morning per coin. So
Yeah, yesterday it was like on 17, 40, 50 playing there, and then it jumped now.
So with XRP, that case is still ongoing at
the
the moment.
SEC is still, and they actually extended the case to next year March, so we will not have any clarity up until then.
So it's not just in SA where we push cases.
it's around the world, girl. It's around the world.
Jess, we've got a comment there.
Yeah, we have Jay Paris coming through that says MANC Chester United. Esther United. And then Daniel Dupree comes through saying better days are ahead for United.
Amen.
In Jesus' name.
Amen,
Ole
bro.
out.
That's a prophecy.
Yeah,
right
man.
You know,
Yeah, no.
the problem that I have oftentimes when I see like in football where people are like, in Jesus' name and things, it makes Jesus look like he's not doing the work.
Yo.
But it's the players, guys. So maybe we should steer away from
But the nice thing about the vision at the church is D stands for dream big.
Yes,
So,
yes.
So continue dreaming, Daniel. Continue dreaming, brother.
Yeah, no, definitely. And then we've got the other breaking news. That is the breaking news. We were gonna go back into Manchester United, that whole thing, but I don't think that's breaking news.
I think that's
no.
topic
The only
for
thing
another
breaking
day.
is Ronaldo's back. So let us not
The
get
goat.
into that.
The goat pulls it off again.
Okay, so we're gonna talk election results. On Monday, the 2nd of November, we had our 6th municipal elections in South Africa since
Hey, man.
1994, since our democracy 27 years ago. And most of us went to go back into Manchester United. That
And then?
cho. There was an
Hey.
echo in my ear. Yo, I was like, is that you, Holy Spirit? Because that's how the Holy Spirit sounds oftentimes, in my head. So
Yeah, man.
no.
So easy.
And then we cut you on a pose.
You said things still, actually.
You knew it.
You knew it's coming.
You knew it.
Yeah, no, you just have to keep your posture. We back. We apologize for the break in broadcasting to all our viewers who are watching and who are faithfully watching. Unfortunately, we had a bit of a glitch, but we are
Yay,
back
man.
now. We are back now because we move,
Glitches are good.
Come hell or high water, we keep moving. So we were talking about the elections on Monday, the 2nd of November. I don't know where it cuts. I'm just going to repeat that. Sorry for those of you who already heard this. But on Monday, the 2nd of November, we had our 6th municipal elections in South Africa since 1994, since our democracy 27 years ago.
Yeah.
And yes, so most of us went to the polls on Monday to cast our votes. So municipal elections is basically we were voting for our districts, for our wards, for our municipalities, where we stay, basically. That's what we voted for. And so what happened was we went, wherever we were registered, we cast our votes for the party that we want to... would I say govern, let's not say rule, govern, democratically govern over our wards. That's what we went to go do. And then we also voted for the mayor candidate.
Provincial.
Municipality.
Yeah.
We did that. And then, so that's what we did on Monday. And the results are not completely out yet, but I'm just going to give you guys a backstory into what the demographics looked like in terms of registered voters for this year. So it says that there was a total of 26,228,975 voters, registered voters for this year. So South Africa is currently sitting on almost 60 million people population-wise. So that would mean that it's less than the total population, but also we will consider eligible age, right? So that was at 26.2 million, basically, of registered voters for this year. In terms of the further demographics, male voters made up 11,757,416. That is 44.83%. And female voters made up 14,471,559, which makes up 55.17% of the total voters. So it's a big number. Looking at the 9 provinces, Eastern Cape's voters was 3.2 million. Free State was 1.4 million. Gauteng was 6.1 million. KwaZulu-Natal was 5.4 million. Mpumalanga was 1.9 million. Northern Cape was 623,188. Limpopo was 2.5 million. Northwest was 1.6 million. And the Western Cape makes up 3.1 million, right? So Gauteng obviously has the biggest amount of voters, but also it's the biggest, let's say, province in South Africa.
Not the biggest, but
yeah,
the most
Populated. That's what I
Smallest
wanted to
but biggest.
Smallest but most populated. That's actually what I wanted to say. Thank you for the correction there. So that is what we're sitting at, right? So the results came out, and this is what I have for results so far, and then we're going to jump into this topic. So early on Wednesday morning, which was this morning, the ANC continued to slowly edge closer to the 47% mark in total views across South Africa, as it firmly clinched about 5.7 million votes.
Okay.
By 1 a.m., live results reflected on the Electoral Commission of South Africa, the IEC, which is the independent board that does the elections, showed that the ruling party had so far gained 46.2% of the voters' support. The DA, which is the second biggest party in South Africa, holding 22.5%, followed by the EFF with 10.9% of voter support. Now, in terms of councils, South Africa has 205 local councils, right?
Yes.
So of the 205 local councils, the ANC has 72 of those councils so far, and the DA holds 21 of those councils so far. In Limpopo, the ANC has already surpassed the 60% mark, so they won by a long shot. While the DA and the EFF were nowhere near the 20% mark even.
Sure.
So those are the 3 main parties currently in South Africa. But like we read, like Aldrin said in the breaking news, Herman Mashaba's party, the new Action SA party, has made headwaves in South Africa.
Yes.
And then we're going to go over to one more point that I wanted to say. Yes, in the Eastern Cape, right, the party is sitting at 65.53% of the vote, the ANC. So they are almost on their 70% mark, which is, there's no contesting it over there. But now let's open it up. However,
my people.
However, shortly before 2 a.m. this morning, the IEC only counted 60% of the total votes. But okay, what is the rest of the 40% going to do in those specific areas? Limpopo and Eastern Cape especially. Now let's open it up, guys. What do you think is going on here? First, let's talk about the climate in South Africa politically before these elections. What were people saying about the ruling party? People were obviously service delivery, we know was a problem. We've been talking about it over the years. We had political leaders in here on Doctor's show on a Tuesday for these past 4 weeks. Yeah, we had the ANC and the PA first, so you must go check out that show. And then the week after that, we had DA, EFF, ACDP, Action SA, and that was it.
Yeah.
That was it. And did I say EFF?
Yeah, you
I said ACDP, DA, EFF, Action SA. Yeah, those were the parties that we had in studio the week after. Then we had the independent candidates. So I do not know how the independent candidates are doing in the respective wards, but in terms of looking at the results for party, what do you guys think? I don't know.
Well, I think for me, this is not a foreign concept. I've seen this thing play out before in the US with the Republicans and the Democrats.
Yeah.
Where you had Hillary Clinton going up against Donald Trump, right? And you have all these political analysts coming in saying, no, Hillary Clinton is going to do this, she's going to do that, she's going to win.
She's leading.
She's
She's got most
and
of
then
the...
overnight,
Yeah.
the Donald Trump comes and he wins like by a long shot. And it's like, you know, for some reason, I just did some research on that, and whatever you were speaking about, it was what people was actually feeling. So the thing is, Donald Trump had political power because of him being a very wealthy businessman. So when you have power like that, when you have money like that, you can speak, and you can speak without fear, without having to worry what the next person is going to say, because you have money. You can fall back into your money, you can fall back into your power. It's simple. But now for the citizens, it is a different ball game, because they can't just go and speak the way they want to because of the backlash that will come. But because he was speaking on behalf of what the citizens were actually feeling, that is why when he said, we're going to build a wall, everyone was like, yes, inside. But not, they weren't verbalizing it. But inside they were like, yes, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. And then next thing you know, Donald Trump is the president of the United States of America. Prior to coming into the elections, everyone was complaining about the ANC. I saw a tweet the other day saying, hey, guys, ANC, they're undefeatable. We cannot defeat them, no matter how much service delivery problems there is. They're not coming to the table. They're not, providing this, that, and the other. Corruption, all of it. Cool. We just cannot beat these people. So it is the very same people that are complaining about the ANC that are actually going there and saying, you know what, culture says, or heritage. My grandmother, my grandfather voted the ANC. So we'll continue to vote for the ANC because these are the people that brought us liberation, or these are the people that brought us freedom, or gave us access to resources that we never had. So let us keep these people in power, because, hopefully they'll change. Hopefully they will change. Hopefully. So that was the climate before then, and we have the ANC leading.
Isn't that like an abusive relationship though, bro?
It is. It's like your boyfriend slaps you with the right, and then it's like, baby, I love you. I'm sorry. And then you just go back and that's basically what it is. We're in a abusive relationship.
Definitely. And I mean, I look at the Eastern Cape, and if you look at the state of the Eastern Cape, in many of the Eastern Cape, in many parts of the Eastern Cape, it's poverty stricken. It's underdeveloped. There's a lot of service delivery failures or service undelivery. Yeah. There's a lot of that going on. But ANC still got majority vote in the Eastern Cape, and even in Limpopo. If you think about like metropolitan wise, if you look at the states of the cities and the provinces, let's say the provinces, like the rural areas, well, majority rural areas, which is Eastern Cape and Limpopo. If you think about like country living kind of rural areas. Those are the areas that the ANC still gains the most traction. And yet those are the places that are most affected by the incompetence and the corruption of the ANC. So it's like you were saying, the abusive relationship. And because of the cultural thing. But what do you think that it is a result of being uneducated? And because let's think about it. If you're living in a rural area, majority rural area, do you have access to internet the way we have access to internet, where we can constantly keep up to date with what's happening? So somehow it's like they are in the dark, although in front of their eyes, they can see that, okay guys, things are not really great here. But if you don't know better, you're not going to see anything wrong with like
what you have.
Yeah, you'll say like, but why aren't we getting this, that, and the other? But you're so comfortable. And this is what yesterday when we had those two voters in here, that's what they were saying. We've become so even us. Like there's times when we will still go protest, we will tweet about it, we will have conversations like this, we'll still do those things. But what more do we do except for sit and complain? You know what I'm saying? What more do we do? But my question is it in that case like a lack of resources, information, not really education, I'd say more information, knowledge, resources, that they don't really understand the gravity of voting for the ANC over and over again? And they don't foresee that in the next, will those areas be able to sustain in the next 5 years? Think about it. For how we've been going, for where the ANC's at. Well, in 5 years' time, what's going to happen to those areas?
You know what? I want to just comment on this. So Andrew Haywood, he's a guy that writes books on politics, and he says that that politics is only a repetition of history. Like there's nothing new that happens. It is just repetition, right? It's nothing
History
new.
repeats itself.
It just repeats itself. And look, let's go back to when Zuma was the president in that 5-year term that he was, the first 5 years.
Yeah.
That guy was, he was doing what he wanted to, this, that, and the other. People were saying, the exact same ANC was saying, no, this guy must get out, he must do this, that, and the other. The next term, he was in for a second term because why they elected him to be the president, and he was in there for a second
And the
term.
people vote for
So,
you.
so it's
They
like
want him.
It's like what? Like, bruh, you see this thing is not working out, but still you go and do the exact same thing. And that is what is currently happening. And you put it so beautifully. If you don't know what is outside of your window, you will not be exposed
See
to
that
that.
you will not see what's wrong with
and
your
that-
situation.
And maybe that is also, maybe that could also be a potential reason as to why the ANC hasn't really increased infrastructure in all of these different places. All political parties in general hasn't upped the infrastructure in these areas because as long as you keep them stupid, I'm gonna say stupid for lack of a better term, you keep them stupid so that they don't have ignorance, so that they don't have access to information, social media, resources, whatnot. I saw a comment here saying that people hate the ANC on social media, which is true. That is only on social media. But when it comes to you actually sitting there with your ballot paper and stuff like that, you're still gonna vote the ANC.
I think it's a thing of fear, bro. It's like even though the corruption and so forth is taking place here, our people don't necessarily or don't at all want to go back to how it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
The fear of returning to apartheid.
So that's the thing. So even though we're living in these rural areas and so forth at least we can travel out with freedom and so forth on. So was that fear that
But
is...
then again, you
that
have
is
other black parties that,
like the EFF.
like the EFF, Action SA and that you can also vote for, but why still go back to ANC?
I think it's that culture thing, bro, that Elgin...
There is.
I feel like the education thing plays a big role in it, because if you look at Soweto itself, at this election itself, you can see the numbers have dropped with the ANC. Reason being also because Soweto has become like a youth center basically. The youth in Soweto is big.
Yes.
And they can think for their future, they can think for themselves. And Soweto's a beautiful place. They have internet connection, it's a beautiful area.
Yes.
So they can think for themselves, they have things at their fingertips, so they can obviously log on and see, okay, this is what ANC has been doing. And if you look at the videos of when ANC came to Soweto and they were throwing them with stones and stuff, most of the people in that video is youngsters.
I like what
That's
you're
so
saying
true.
because people.
Majority of Soweto didn't vote because of service delivery and also their power being cut.
Yeah.
Though
They
they
didn't
are
vote.
the big, they didn't
They
vote.
didn't, yeah.
But
They
now
said
that's the
that.
problem.
But
But now
that's the
that,
here's the
that,
thing.
that begs
And
the
I'm
question
big
now
on
again,
that.
because like we were
Yeah.
talking about the hypothesis of does your vote go to the ruling party if you are registered and you don't vote? That is the question, because a lot of people talk about it, but we don't know.
Is it fact or fiction?
We don't know if it's actually. But now the thing is, Jay, like in that situation, what if that is the case? You're giving them the upper hand
giving them-
anyway. So it's a catch-22. You're trying to protest the service
But
delivery.
at the same time, you're not going out to vote.
But exactly.
You're
So
not
you
registering.
still play into their hands some way or the other, because what happens there. But guys, like, here's another thing that bothers me, and it might be a conspiracy theory, and there are a lot of people who feel this way, like the whole notion that maybe this system is rigged. Like there is people, the IEC is supposed to be independent, right? Because voting is supposed to be free and fair. Although we can't really say whether it was free and fair this year because of the fact with the whole COVID-19 and the restrictions and stuff like that, although we were down to level 1.
And sorry to break your word there. When independent candidates were talking themselves, they were saying it's free and fair, but yet they get this certain budget and we just have to make our own money on the side and see how we can push ourselves. So
Yeah.
how's that free and fair at the end of the day?
Exactly.
If the IEC
They
is
still
free
have
and
the upper
fair,
hand.
then give
Aldrin was
everyone a
talking
certain
about
amount of
power.
money. and-
Is power, and that's the thing. But now the question is, like, on this thing of is it rigged or not? Let's go back a few months ago. The ANC did not register candidates in 90 municipalities. 90. 90.
And then they
Or
postponed.
almost
They
90. I
extended
stand on correction, right? I'll check the stats now. So they didn't register in that many municipalities. They didn't register candidates in that many municipalities after the deadline from the IEC. Then they said that they want an extension on the deadline. None of the other parties did, whether they got their registrations right or not. They didn't have the muscle to request that. Okay, fine. The ANC was granted it because apparently constitutionally it's lawful, right? So okay, fine. They get granted the whole thing of being able to get an extension registering their candidates. Action SA was on point with their registrations. They got their campaigns. They were campaigning early already. You just saw Action SA everywhere. They were doing the most. On the ballots, when the ballots came, their name wasn't there on the ballots. It was just their logo. So if I didn't know Action SA's logo and there's a blank space next to the part where the name is, how am I going to know to vote for Action SA? And I wanted to vote for Action SA. So they contested that. They were like, whoa, guys. Hold up. Why is only our logo on?
Damn, I didn't see that.
Yes, it was only their logo.
But their whole argument was most you have to have a
Acronym.
acronym.
Action SA needs to have an acronym. That's what they said because there's no space. The block is too small to put Action SA in there. So then Action
But
SA
ASA?
contested that and they were like, hi guys, but what is happening here? Why does it seem like this is a ploy to sabotage us, right? You give the ANC and the other parties, like I know the DA made a big boo-ah about that they were given extensions, and even the EFF were like, guys, hi guys.
Applied in court.
Yeah, they did, but they lost that
They
case.
did.
So because the IC was like,
There
no,
was-
it's fair.
There was even a thing with the PA. I think it was
Yeah.
Ward 111 where people they were registered at that place
Yes,
to vote.
and then they turned them away. They said,
They
you're not
said,
here.
you're not here, you're
Exactly.
in Soweto, some in Soweto.
Now, getting to that, in where I voted, right, and many other, I don't know, did you hear about this, but in many other municipalities, there was, especially, and it was mostly municipalities that were already like either DA or EFF or whatever, non-ANC, let me put it that way, where the voter management devices, that thing that you scan, those little things that they use to scan the IDs, those things were just not working, right? So the system was offline. So
Sounds
people were like,
familiar.
Yeah.
so
There
what
were
happened
there were load
was,
shedding
it
as
was
well
like this,
in certain
and it
places.
was
Yeah.
long, and then people started turning away. Who's gonna wait 2 hours for the system to go back
You have
on?
one job, bro, the IEC, in 5 years to make sure you get things right. One job, bro.
That time,
So
One job, bro.
that time Joburg they runs better than what the IC runs.
in some cases, I can't remember where it was, but there was one area where voters stole the ballot boxes, 2 ballot boxes.
And that is
that's also
very,
happened a few
very
years
possible.
ago.
Very
They stole 2 ballot boxes, and then the police retrieved it. But what?
I actually worked for the IEC on 3 different occasions.
Yeah.
Literally filling out, forms and all of that, giving it the ballots, handing out ballots to the people. And that is
Yeah.
possible. We've seen, even in that instance, like a few votes went missing. That same night, we
I think they
started.
found a box in the veld or somewhere.
Yes, it
We
was
started
that
5 o'clock
yeah.
in the morning. We finished there 3 o'clock the next morning.
Yeah.
That's how hectic it was.
So, guys, do you think that somehow?
You know what? I think to a certain extent that, and they were speaking about it this morning on the news in terms of IEC funding, in terms of Stats SA funding. Where does the funding
Where does
come
the
from?
no? That's
comes
that's
from-
the
it
question.
comes
And
from
doesn't that
government.
also answer the question, if you don't vote, does it go to the leading party? Because the whole situation is fishy. The
It
fact
is
that these
fishy.
things are happening to these devices, they probably do know.
That,
that
hey,
if- and a lot of people were walking away and not voting because of.
and they can just
they
simply
do-
blame it on the
And
systems
the
who are not
ANC
working.
they
is
do
so
know.
confident. Like they didn't even bother
didn't do
really
much.
with like
Yeah.
campaigning and
And,
stuff. They were
yeah.
already like, even that guy that was on the show, the representative for the ANC, he was super chilled. He was like, screw you, we know what's happening.
Facts.
Like,
and that's why they don't punt it on social media. They don't punt it on
No.
the radio, at all. Where do your ANC say vote and so forth on? They do, but
I do, however, believe that slowly there is a lack of confidence where people are now starting to like actually realize that, hey, you know, where the ANC is going, because this time around they haven't won as much as previous years.
Yes.
So there's like steady declines, and to a certain extent, if the ANC doesn't
Which is a
watch
good
out,
thing.
if the ANC doesn't watch out for what they're currently busy with, what they're currently doing, surely the next party will come in
Yes.
and occupy government. Because look at what happened in the United States of America. Donald Trump was also too confident.
Yeah.
And by the time he opened up his eyes, Joe Biden was the president of the United States of America. And then he went to go and sue Joe Biden because of ballots and votes and blah, blah, blah. So slowly, people are coming to the party and saying, hey, ain't like ANC. Nah, man, this that you guys are doing, we are must not Popeyes, man.
But now I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna move on
still vote for them.
to
So
They still vote for them.
to the last part of the show, and I want to ask. Okay, the results are out now. There's nothing you can do about it. The results are out. Obviously, you need to see who is in your ward. You need to familiarize yourself with the ward councillor and so forth. Did you want to say something?
I wanted to say something. I
Yes.
wanted to say, listen, yeah, the PA did cheer the people park in a different vote, like
Yeah, they
by
did.
6,000.
Yes,
They
Other
did.
people had like 111 votes. They got like 6,000 and 5,000 in the different wards. But anyway, continue.
No,
Sorry.
that's good. So, so the small parties are definitely, and it's important to have that. Because if you think about it, like, did you hear the DA's ad campaigns on the
Yo.
radio? They're like, don't waste your time with the small parties. Vote for DA who can actually be a threat, who is a threat to the ANC and stuff. But the small parties, you can see it. They're making a dent.
Yeah,
Where-
they're occupying seats in the National
they're
Assembly.
making
and
dent.
you know DA was threatened by Action SA because to have a whole ad just about Action
So,
SA themselves
they were
on the
definitely
radio,
threatened by.
You must know.
But you must know there was an insider.
girl.
There was an insider that is now your opposition.
Yeah.
Herman
Yeah.
was
He
a
knows
DA.
everything.
Yeah.
So he plays the game, and he
And
really
based,
did.
based on the success of his duration of sitting as the Joburg mayor, he did really, really well for businesses
He knows.
and the economy.
Yeah, and he
of
knows
South
what's
Africa.
happening. He knows what's going on. But guys, moving forward, as young people, look, the situation is dire in South Africa financially, economically. The unemployment rate is still high. And that's the reason why many young voters didn't want to go vote, because that was their excuse. Anyway, it's unemployment. Everything's rising. Yesterday, I was quite saddened when I heard what Shanique, one of our guests, said yesterday. She's in matric this year, and she was saying her biggest fear is the empty promises, because she must now move over to the real world now. She says, and she fears for her life, because she doesn't know what the future holds with
That's right.
with the current state of our country. Petrol went up again
Yo!
last night. It's almost 20 rand a liter.
Yo! Aye, man.
Obviously, that will affect your other things like
Groceries
bread
and all
and
that.
milk and your groceries and stuff. And now I'm thinking to myself, the poorest of the poor are going to be most affected by this vote.
Yeah.
And for me, it's the poorest of the poor that continues to vote for this. But for us, for people in South Africa that's watching, what can we do to take control of our own futures? The Shaniques, the CJs that was here yesterday, us. What can we do? We can't keep sitting and saying there's no jobs. Because we're just going to become another statistic if we keep saying that.
Facts.
What do you guys think we should do alternatively? I mean, you guys spoke about Bitcoin
Yeah,
today.
I
You
think-
spoke about trading.
Yeah, I think we've seen what this country has to offer for us. It's either you do your 9 to 5, which I'm not speaking against, or you just basically have a side hustle. Now, here's the thing. We can go and do a side hustle. But to some extent, we are going to need assistance. We're going to need funding. But we've seen that also when it comes to funding, if you, for instance, if you're trying to do something, even there where you're voting, the people are not coming to the table and saying, okay, right, listen here, we have at least 5 million rand for the youth of this place. We can try and do something. There's nothing of that sort. So we've seen that, you know what, we're going to have to do things our own way.
Yes.
We're going to have to look for opportunities overseas. We're going to have to look at the markets, what is currently booming, what is currently happening, crypto space, the forex space. We're going to have to shoot our shot wherever we possibly can, because we never know where our returns are actually going to be. Because like I said, we are losing confidence in the sitting government. We are losing confidence in the political system of this country. Us as the youth. And I mean, Apostle Atifanel stated the unemployment rate. It's 73% now, if I'm not mistaken. But he said that it was 73%, which is ridiculous.
Yeah,
that is ridiculous. And we are the future of the country. You know what? Companies, big companies, they know how much lies in the youth. And that is why they have something called youth proposition. They make sure to invest into the youth. They have, for instance, if you have a telco, they have a youth proposition. For instance, Vodacom has something called Next Level. They invest into the youth because they know that the youth is the future of tomorrow. And if you can provide them a SIM card from the age of 13, if you can provide them that SIM card and you give them the best value, you give them the best data, you give them the best call time, whatever the case may be, in future, they're not going to let you down. They're going to stay on your network. They're going to stay on your network.
I love everything you're saying, bro. But again, I might sound like a broken record here, bro. But the youth is not voting. So fair and while you
is the
saying
government
that,
appealing to the youth?
Fair and while you're saying everything that you're saying, bro, which is cool.
That
Go and
brings my
vote.
argument.
Go vote.
What are we doing?
Bro, you don't have a voice if you don't vote. I can't hear you if you don't vote. I can't listen
And I
to you if you
completely
don't
agree
vote.
with you, bro. But
So it's cool what you're saying, but the youth isn't voting. This was such an important election. This was such an important, bro.
Yeah.
There was such a shift that took place.
Definitely.
maybe
You
I'm
had
saying,
to.
maybe I
had
should
to.
say that political parties should then target the youth. Because in all their messaging, it is flat. It's like for elderly people. There's nothing vibrant about it. There's no color to it. There's no message that speaks to me and says, we will provide you jobs. Or we will help you with your side hustle. You get what I'm saying? So maybe they should change their
debatable.
approach. They should maybe change
Debatable.
their approach, because these big telcos, these big companies are investing into the youth. They have, look at Investec.
But bro, nothing's gonna be put on a silver platter for you.
Hey,
You can't
bro.
sit back and hope and want things to be all nice and so forth on. Go vote.
So just a correction on those stats. So the ANC early on, I said they didn't register in 93 municipalities. And then in terms of the unemployment rate, Reuters says that it's 34.4% in the second quarter of 2021. But on Al Jazeera, it says that it's 44.4% in the second quarter. I don't know who to believe. I like Al Jazeera News, so I'm not too sure, but they're quite unbiased in their. It's a good thing to actually watch Al Jazeera News. They
say it like it is.
They say it like it is, and they
Hey, bruh.
oftentimes cover news stories. But anyway, we're getting off topic. But again, Jay, like what you were saying, we can't just sit back
Yeah.
and expect. Now that's what I'm asking, especially for the youth of South Africa. It's over now. If you didn't vote, you didn't vote. It's finished, and you can't now go back and say, you didn't vote, and now because I didn't vote, now I can't do anything. That also, you know what I'm saying.
Facts.
So we need to come up with solutions.
I feel like the parties, like your smaller parties, in different communities need to start now already, leading up to whenever we're voting again.
Yes.
In terms of being in the youth's face, showing them what you're doing for the youth. And
Yes.
don't just come a month or 2 months before
Ish.
it's time for election.
Ish.
Because then it's again that question of, you are just doing it now
For-
because it's
But
Yes.
time to
that's
vote.
with all parties.
But
That's what
especially
I'm
the
saying.
small
Especially
parties,
the smaller
because
parties,
they
if you can
just
be in the
gaining
face,
traction.
That's the thing. If you can be in the face of the people all the time, like that's the PA in El Dorado Park. They're in the face all
the
the time. And that's what helps push their numbers, I guess. So that's why they kill their wards there where they are now.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you can do that in a different community.
And they've been delivering on services that
That's
they
the thing.
promised before the election, leading
Guess
up
with
to
whose
the
money?
election.
With their own money.
With their own money.
Taking it out of their own pockets
Yeah.
to fix the lights and the streets in
Exactly.
Aldos. Shout
I
out
wanna-
on Spizani.
I wanna.
Very nice.
Yes, Mr. Miller is so passionate. I love it. So listen. I want to give an example of what we can do, right? So my cousin-in-law, who's like my brother-in-law, Ashley Adams. He registered, and this is what I mean by being proactive. Like we were saying, I get what you say, Alden, that you need the funds, but the funds are not there. Like, unfortunately, where we stand now, we can say we need the funds, but at this point in time...
Do you think, and sorry to break it, do you think, Lee, there's also a level of laziness?
I think it's
To
an
a certain-
excuse.
to a-
I think making those excuses is a direct result of, it's one of the symptoms of laziness. There's those excuses.
I feel like
You don't want to work for it.
I feel like you can work for it, but also it gets to a point where you get to this barrier that's so difficult to break through.
You grow despondent.
Bro.
if
It's true.
Bro,
It's
I've
true.
been to the NYDA
It's
on
true.
3 different occasions.
It's true.
Literally every time I come to NYDA, I get told we're gonna give you a phone call. 4 years later, I'm still waiting for my phone calls.
It's true. It's very
It's like,
true. And
what?
that's the thing. But it's almost like they deliberately frustrate you so that they don't have to deliver. They deliberately frustrate you, and we see it. But going back to the example of what he did, right? So he's been like, since my cousin met him, his heart has always been for the community where he comes from, which is Eldorado Park. And so he recently registered a soccer team, a football team locally.
That he doesn't just have a football team.
He's got a golf team as well now.
I saw the tweet
So
this morning.
I'm building up
United
building
Golf
up to that, right? So look, it's from his pocket. He's got a family to feed. You know what I'm saying? He's also out here hustling. It's not as if he's getting funds from some big businessman. And we always say that, can the businessmen of color please invest in guys, if you're going to wait for that businessman to invest in your community, you're going to wait forever. You're going to wait forever.
Now, when I speak about the funding, look, they stole the kit.
They stole his kit
out of the car
in
and
the
all of that.
community.
So it's like, bruh, come on, this man is trying. We from the Ashley and I are from the same community.
And the balls.
We from the
It's all
same
equipment.
Hillbrow flats in Eldorado Park.
Yes.
And shout out to him for what he's doing. But sooner or later he's gonna need funding because he can't forever take out of his own pocket.
But the thing is, as he's got the vision. And not just does he have the vision,
And it's
he's
there.
implementing the vision. And he's doing it without funds. And yes, it was last week when they were supposed to play their first game. He's been training them. He's been taking money out of his own pocket for transportation, for kits, for coaching, for those kinds of things. He's been taking money out of his own pocket. And eventually it's starting to materialize now. They were supposed to play their first game. He's standing at the grounds and they break into his car and they steal everything. The kit that the team is
tournament.
supposed to play, that the team is supposed to play in, the water bottles, the soccer balls, everything was taken in the very community that you are investing into. So also that speaks to the people,
Yeah.
like, why are we stealing from each other?
Facts.
It's like yesterday when we had that conversation with those two girls. Why are you protesting in your community?
Yeah.
Ooh, make it make sense to me, guys. What are we doing?
Bro, we
But look,
also have to...
change our mindset.
Hey,
It's
Brad,
just
you know,
mindset,
okay,
bro.
you know what?
We have to.
and
But then
yes,
it's again,
And
that
there's no
of-
excuse, bro.
there's no excuse,
no
but we have
excuse,
people that
broski.
are addicted to substances, and there's that whole service delivery problem. There's that whole, we are not, and that's why I say, bruh, the sitting government has failed us, bruh.
But what are we gonna do to take control
Are
of
we
our
just gonna-
own
are we just gonna
future
sit in
now?
that, bro?
Here's
Are we just
Ashley,
gonna
a
sit in
beautiful
that, bro?
example.
He's investing into those young guys so that they don't have to sit on the corners
doing
every
it.
day, because now they're occupied. Because what do you expect them to do?
Exactly.
They are in drug-infested
Yes.
communities.
And that's the reason
and
why
he's
he did this.
And
And
the
let's
thing
say,
is,
bro, let's say
we need to-
you never get funds. Then what? You're gonna sit
Exactly.
and do nothing.
You're gonna sit with that vision and you're just gonna watch everything
and say,
just
"H,
decline.
H,
Okay, then
H,
let me
H."
propose a question then. So then what happens? You do your own thing. You forever funding out of your own pocket. Your stuff is continuously being stolen. What do you do then?
But the thing is, it's not always the case like that. The thing is, if you go into a thing
Bro,
with
when-
that mindset, that's where you're going to stay.
No,
For
I'm
me,
just-
I
But
hear
whether
what you're
it's your
saying.
money or you get money from
I hear
someone
what
else,
you're
you're still
saying.
gonna you're still gonna steal.
I hear what you're saying, but the thing is, like as a visionary, right? If you're going into, obviously you must weigh the pros and the cons. There is probability that these things will happen, but you can't let that keep you, because that is the excuse mentality again, where you're like, well, they're going to do this, I'm gonna the whole time. When you as an entrepreneur go into business, you obviously know that these are the risks that I'm going to face. But is that gonna stop you from investing? Is that gonna stop you from pursuing that business? Is that going to stop you? It can't stop you. You must still do it. There's going to come knocks to you or whatever, but you must still do it. And the thing is, for me, we must support people like that.
Yeah,
Not the
100%.
businessmen.
We're
Not
behind
these
you.
flashy
We're
guys.
behind.
And
Not
the
these
truth
these
is-
famous footballers
Yeah.
that are now living overseas and stuff like that. Not those kind of guys. We must support
Yeah.
local guys that don't have the money yet.
Facts.
That's what we need to do. You know what happens after when we do that? We start a network where we're like, okay, we're supporting Ashley now. With whatever the case may be. Ash, what can I do for you? I know that you're working hard. You're working a full-time job. You're doing extra hustles on the side in order to invest into this thing. What can we do to help you in terms of, it might not be monetary, but if it's like, okay, maybe transport, we can transport the guys because they don't have transport. They live in the communities. So he's paying for transport. If community people can come together like that, the government's soon going to realize, maar eintlik, those people don't even need us anymore. And when you start building that network of community, that is when, and I think the reason why many people, especially in the colored communities, and I can only speak from that perspective, are so supportive of the PA is because they bring that Ubuntu
Yeah.
back into the communities, and people have been craving it. You can say what you want to say, that we don't care about our neighbors, but people have been craving it. People just don't know how to go about it. Now you get the PA that says, guys, ons buys ons. They make it a us thing. They're like, guys, we're all suffering here. It's not just one person. You're not suffering alone. We are all suffering here. So let's go and let's make a change. Speak to guys in the PA representatives, like you said. They need to now start involving the youth. Saying, guys, come together. Even if we didn't win in your ward, these are still our people. Let us come together. Let's work together. Let us support each other. As young people now, more than ever, we must stop competing.
Yeah.
Because we all are suffering from the results of
Heat
this
in the
poor
studio
government.
this morning. Heat in the studio this morning.
Yep.
I just want to say one thing as well, bro, with the no excuses as well. Us as young people, bro, we always think we want to start big.
Yeah.
And that's our problem. We want to start big. We want to start with the funds and all of that needs to be invested into us. And okay, let me say this. I'm not an advocate I'm not condoning foreigners and so forth on. That's illegally within our country. But they doing the jobs, the menial jobs that we won't necessarily want to do. So again, there's no excuse. Why won't you go and buy a bag of potatoes and sell it on the street corner?
Exactly.
Menial job,
Exactly.
ego. We want to start big and so forth on. No excuse, broski.
And we must think that this
I
thing
agree.
of passive income, and Alden, you mentioned something so significant this morning when you were saying that you signed up to this thingy, and it's a side hustle. It's not big money, but it's something. Like you mentioned it, and I agree with you. It's going to fill my car with petrol that I'm not going to get anywhere else. And it's true what you said, Jay. If we can change our mindsets to, why must I start with the R1 million? Why must I start there? Why can't I start with the 500
never
rand a
gonna
month?
start there.
It's like when we always talk, we say, Bikkie maak baie.
Bikkie
Facts,
not
bro.
buyer. If you continuously do that, like with you guys, the patience, I admire you for the patience that you have with trading. Because you're sitting there and I can see like the markets are not doing well, but
Losing
do
chill.
you,
Losing
But
do you
game.
just step out? Do you just like walk away?
It's going to pay for
It's gonna
everything
work.
one day.
No, you're going to, you
Push, Baba.
constantly invest. And for me, when it comes to taking control of our future, my thing is first and foremost education, and we always say this. If you, like, for instance, just basic things like knowing your basic constitutional rights. You don't have to read the whole constitution. We have Google. It's not like we had to go to a library and go check the constitution. You know what I'm saying? We have access to all these things, but like Jay said, it makes us more lazy somehow or the other. We make excuses. If you know your rights and you know what the ward councillor is supposed to do and they're not delivering on service, put pressure. It's like, I think it was yesterday when Xavier said that if we can all, say for instance you, or it was CJ, I can't remember which of the two it was, but they were like, if you go to your ward councillor and you see that there's service delivery problems, and you rally, I take Eldron calls his people, I take Jesse, it's like that. Yeah, watch, I'm going to call my brother now. Then your brother comes with all his friends. If community members can do that, you think there won't be pressure?
There will be.
There will be.
To perform.
There
We
will
need
be.
to understand our rights as democratic citizens of South Africa, and we need to start
But
implementing
also,
it.
please, when we do that, let's do it the right way.
Don't now break.
Don't
burn
break.
the
And don't burn
buildings.
tires.
Don't burn
I
Spa.
stay there
We must-
also. When I'm driving past, you want to throw my car with stones. I didn't put the lights off.
I'm also something.
That's the thing. And that's where I feel like the community is so lets us down a bit, because I understand you're frustrated, but we all in it together. We
Yes.
all frustrated.
Yes.
Don't now break my car because our lights are off.
Yes.
Hey, bro, the Spa you burn today, you must drive past to go by bread in another
Yeah,
community.
you know, I was talking about the foreigners or foreign nationals, Jay. I used to work as an editor at this one B2B company, and we used to do trade magazines. And so I used to sit in these marketing conferences, and there was this one representative that represents the Ethiopian people of the Ethiopian foreign nationals in South Africa. You know, like, town is full of Ethiopian vendors and business owners. And I listened to this guy speaking, and he's like the head of the council, basically. And he said he came to South Africa with nothing. Nothing. Because obviously he was fleeing from his country, which was war-torn at the time. And he came here with nothing except the clothes on his back. And he says what he did is he was standing on the side of the road. He got money. What he did with that money is he went to go buy a packet of those chips. Those bulk chips that you, like the knickknacks or those ones, the Neosis, no, not Neosis, the Mandelas. He went to go buy a packet of that, and he just started selling it like on the street. And he made that money, and he started to accumulate that money. And what he did is, when more of the Ethiopian people came, they started to form a community. And then they started to support each other like that. So if you now knew your Eldrin, I've got enough capital to buy 2 shirts, for instance. I'm selling those 2 shirts. The profit that I make from that 2 shirts, I'm going to invest into you. And together we work as a network. And so when somebody else comes and say, for instance, like I listened to this one lady was saying, also an Ethiopian business owner, and she was saying that during the looting, one of their friends, not even family members, shop was completely looted, burnt down and everything. What they did is they came together. Instead of giving her money, they gave her stock.
all the stock.
They said, okay, take some of our stock and sell it, and the profit that you make, it's fine, you can keep it. So they didn't give her money, but they gave her stock. If we can start applying that mindset, imagine what we can do in our own country.
Yeah, that's true.
Imagine, like, why are we making all these excuses?
Rather
I
we
think,
fight
I
and
think,
jail each
I
other.
think, in all honesty, it's gonna take some time to change the culture that is already there. We can have the vision, but culture will eat vision for breakfast. So these people that came here, they have different cultures. They have the culture of working together, community. They have that thing of standing together.
They must support each other.
We right now, and I
They've
love,
got no
and
choice.
and this is the reason why I love the PA, because they're changing the narrative in the community.
Yes.
And we stand
They're
behind
making
that.
you see that it's possible.
That we are together, you know, and it's gonna take some time, like you said, with the education. We're gonna educate our people, you know. And there's a massive spiritual aspect that goes towards it, because
Definitely.
we need deliverance.
Definitely.
We need salvation.
We need revival.
We need revival, you know, because there's only this much that you can do. The rest,
Yeah.
God has to do.
100%. This
you
is
know?
definitely a spiritual warfare.
So yes,
above all.
it's gonna take some time,
Miracle month.
but
Yeah,
It's
bro,
Miracle
one
Month
of-
here
it's
at
gonna
Crystal
happen.
Church,
One
South
of their
Africa.
first goals is to put God back into schools.
Definitely.
So props and big ups. to
So
them.
guys, we've reached the end of our show. Do you have any closing remarks? Keegan says that that's because of jealousy that we don't support each other. True.
Yeah.
Closing remarks.
From my side, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for engaging with us, Keegan and Daniel.
Yo, yeah, Keegan and
We
Daniel,
appreciate
guys.
you guys.
A round
We
of
appreciate
applause
you
for
guys.
them.
And then also, I feel like what
Trying to
yo,
today.
yo.
No, 2 claps.
Quick claps.
Man.
Okay, yeah, finish. Yeah, but we always have this conversation. Myself and Smiley always have it.
Yeah,
Within the community, sport is a big thing.
sure.
Sport and recreation is a huge thing. I feel like if you can change the infrastructure with your whole sporting facility within the community, you can make such a big change within that community. And for some reason, I don't understand why our political parties don't see this.
They do see, they just don't care.
Oh, yeah, they'll rather build
Because
small
they-
stands with a sand pitch and say they spent how much million on it.
Yes.
15.
I think that's 15
See.
million.
15 million.
Because they want to keep people in poverty and they want to keep people ignorant and they want to keep people enslaved, whether it's in drugs or poverty or whatever. They want to do that because that's how they keep their power.
Yeah, true.
So they're not going to do anything about it. Props to Soweto for doing that in their community, for turning it into such a
With a Nike stadium and all
beautiful,
that.
exactly, to such a beautiful community. And they're doing things and they're not waiting on better days.
True.
Yes, I have a comment on that one, but after
I
the show.
also-
They're
also-
backing.
After the show.
The government is backing there, bro. They're getting funds from the government.
Nah,
too.
but like with what like how Ashley's doing it now, if you can do it like that way, even if
Yes.
it's not political party or something, just something like that, and bring your kids.
And he didn't
make
go and
something-
ask people, guys, are you
money.
going to help me or
But
not?
I do
Just
think that the PA will eventually back him.
Nah,
I
but
do.
if they do, you'll see the big change it will make within that community. And like Leandra said, you have your big
I'm
footballers
prophesying,
that come
Ashley.
back,
I'm
and
prophesying, bro.
all they can do is give us a tournament once a year. And
I'm sorry, but we have to call it out for what it
Call it
is.
out for what
Call
it
it out
is.
for what it is.
Fine.
Mr. Miller, your closing remarks?
Hey, you know what? I think this was a beautiful show. A lot of insight came out of here, and I think that, like I said, the narrative is slowly changing. We will get there. Come hell or high water.
Yeah.
Ons Baizani, we're gonna get there. We're gonna cross the finish line, and we will see our communities thrive. I
Yes.
believe that. That's my faith, and I hope that that's your faith as
Come on
well.
now.
In Jesus' name, amen.
So good. Jay, your closing remarks?
Ich gaan vote. Next time. But yeah, for me, by no means do we or do I speak from a point of privilege.
Yes.
The guys know my story. They know the hustle. They know the hard work, the late nights.
Listen to my
So-
music. It's
Come
in
on.
there.
Yes, in there,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
But yeah, you'll know the story. I don't speak from a point of being privileged, man. We from
We
the,
know what it is in the
we from-
gutter.
We from the gutter. We from the trenches, bro.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, think of something. Think of something. Apply your mind. Run with it. Go and do something. There's no excuses. Nothing's gonna get put on a silver platter for you. Do what you gotta do, and watch how God will multiply it. Little is much when God is in it. And if you put your faith and trust in God, you'll see how He will just magnify and take your business all.
And with that, make sure who you have around you.
So true.
I was actually thinking about that
So true.
prior to the show.
So true. Be
Who you
careful
have,
who you
yeah.
share your vision with. And be careful who you surround yourself with. 100%.
Big facts. Just one more thing before we close. With what you're saying there, bro, network is so important. You're not gonna do this on your own.
Thank you so much, everybody, for watching up until this point. To the guys who gave their input, and also to our commentators over there, our online commentators, Daniel and Keegan. We appreciate it very, very much. If you do like the show, please please subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so yet, and please share. I feel like if we can get more of these conversations around, and we can educate people around us, our peers, if we can educate our neighbors, one drop in the ocean, it makes a big difference. It creates a ripple. So please do so. And we thank you so very much. Do so. Have a lovely week further. And many blessings to you. I pray that God makes all your dreams come true, and that you continue to work at it, man. From me, Lee, and the gents, bye.
Deuces.
Bro, you must keep the aftermath, bro.